Hello viewers, we're back on the Emerald Enclave server. We are playing the HermitPack mod pack in Minecraft 1.10, and our Santa suit here has become something a little different. Now that the holidays are over, it's just a mage weave. Today we're going to take a look at our power situation. What I did not point out last episode, I actually had this set and this set added to our little system here. These are the 5 little windmills that we've had. I've looked into some other possible options, but I really like the idea of passive power. It just works, it just brings stuff in. You don't have to set up some kind of complicated feedback loop where you got a farm that's somehow making a fuel and then the fuel's getting pumped back into the system. And then that system is powering the farm that's getting you whatever it is that you need. And I'm just now noticing that we have no power in our system. That is really weird because I had this perfectly balanced before. Well, let's upgrade our power system. Let's assume this isn't some kind of bug. Let's upgrade our power system and then see if that takes care of it. First, let's show you why this might be the case. We have, right over here, this miner. We got these coal generators, and they are all hooked up to basically receive. So I guess if you're not familiar with this, the quantum Quarry actuator, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top here under the chest, at the center of these, 6, and at the center is the actual block that's the mining. So you set it up like this. So now there's 8 coal generators around, and once this is built, you can put a book here. So we chose Fortune 3, turn it on or off, and you can put a filter, and this filter will determine what you can get. And I guess what we're actually getting is kind of irrelevant at the point. Basically, it's this stuff. So it's also getting coal, though, and the coal has a priority in the system. Now I'm not seeing where it's hooked up, but it is, and that doesn't matter. I'm becoming distracted. So it brings in the materials, but it also self-feeds itself coal in order to help combat the power. I'm thinking maybe the fans, the things that are generating the power, aren't. There we go, chunk loaded, and now they are. And so maybe that's the issue, possibly. But it doesn't matter because we're still going to update our power, upgrade our power, and the reason is because we want this to run with more efficiency while still giving us access to our system, and we want to get some machines in place to start processing this stuff. All of this right here, some of it doesn't need to be processed, some of it does. Once it's processed, turned to dust. These things cannot be turned to dust. And then once they're cooked up, here's what we got. And so that's what we want to set up. We want to turn this wall into another wall of process things. So this is off. The internal buffer has filled. These will fill up their internal buffers, and then they'll stop running. And then our system will return to normal, at least until we turn it back on. We're going to make these capacitor banks. I already have a ton up upstairs. You'll see what I mean when I say upstairs. The basic capacitors, that's 1 million, right? So these would be 5 million. And you can even make the vibrant, which are 25, which is crazy. These ones alone are taking these double layers, which I think each one of these takes 4 regular. Let me click on it. Each one takes 2 basic capacitors, and each one of those just takes them. We have the stuff. We have the materials. Let's make those. The problem, and this is something we'll have to work on in a future episode, the problem is the recipes tend to be kind of complicated, but we can get some kind of automated crafting. Now to get up to the power, I used to come around this hallway, go up those stairs, go down this hall, and go up there. But I've closed it off and just brought it all the way straight down. Now that we can fly, that makes even more sense. Up here. And we have a mega capacitor bank. Now you can see it's pulling in about 1,000 and it's outputting about 1,000. It's outputting about 1,000 because these individual wires also hold a certain amount of RF. So even though those machines down in the basement are probably filled to the brim, these are taking up some of that energy. And this is just a cover, but I use that little fan, the chisel fan, because it's got that circle on the top. If you look at the left top corner, you can see the factory block painted. So that looks really neat. So let's start out by placing these down, which is going to increase our capacity here. Capacity. So 105. Again, I think I'm looking at the right million, right? 135 million. Nice. Whatever it is. Even if I am saying it wrong, who cares? Okay, now I have everything we need. Right? And for now, let's just pop up here. It's starting to get dark. Where's the sun? Oh, it's probably raining. We're in a desert, so we don't really see that sort of stuff. All right, we're just going to place these down. They're going to start spinning, filling their internal buffer. One more. Yeah, you look at that. They're charging up. This output is just a max output, but it's not actually what they're making. That threw me off before. They're actually only making 77. All right, let's get this all in place and then check the input-output. Okay, let's just real quick put the covers into place. Give it a little visual prettiness. I'm missing one. There we go. And our input is at 15, and our output's only at 119. So that's good. That means this is going to start filling up. That means this system along this path is probably all filled up. And this is going down to our main machines. Now the question is, now once I let this fill up, it's going to be full for a long time. The question is, how much of a drain does our miner take on the system? It's staying at a solid 20. But now let's go look at our power and see if that's just because of the buffer that we have in the system. Yeah, so we are spending more than we are using. Actually, that's okay. I have some spare cheap conduits, and what we can actually do is we can annex one of these fans. I could make some more green. So let's make that extract only, just for cleanliness, and these won't connect. And this is out only, so power that goes into this system from this fan can't go back into here, which means it can't then be consumed by other machines that want to take more power. Now, where'd my block go? Okay, let's turn this back off. Let's let the buffer build all the way up. And what we might actually end up doing is, this is all being powered by this guy. And so what we could very easily do is divert it two different ways. And that way, when there's power, it'll go along here and it'll try to go in there, but it'll also have a way to kind of go off into something else. And we'll have to have a mini capacitor bank to really kind of make a juncture. But that'll give a buffer that lets the energy go two different ways. Yeah, so it might slow that down. But that'll be good, because that'll mean that we'll still make sure to have a lot of power for all the machines we want to run. And for the most part, we'll use Ender IO machines. But I'll have to take a look at each item, actually, because some to get kind of the best output, if we're going to process these automatically, are going to come from the crusher. But I think we'll have no more than 6 machines total, 3 to grind them down, and 3 to smelt them or mix that. It's really, probably everything's going to be an alloy smelter in furnace mode, I think, will be the best for smelting the stuff. We just might have to be a little more creative with the sag mill. But I'm going to do most of the setup off camera because I need to waffle a lot and think about which items I need and what kind of filters I need and what kind of pipes I need and all that. I'm excited to show you what I got, but we need to come over here real quick, just take care of some business. Yes, unfortunately, he's done with this series, and go watch his video. It means he's going to have some more time for some of his other things, and he does some crazy stuff. Like, for example, an arc. Arc is the most. Oh my god! Don't get me started. How how much work you have to put in there to get just something halfway decent, and he does some crazy stuff. So do check that out. If you haven't, but it does make me sad a little bit because I'm not on here as often as that's the wrong way to say it. I'm not on at the same time as the other members as often, and he was in my same time zone. So that just means my Emerald Enclave world just got a little bit smaller. That's okay. We're still gonna do some cool things, and we'll keep doing cool things until we get sick and bored of the whole thing. I showed you this. This is currently off. We're going to keep it off for now. This has emptied. I'm just looking real quick. All these are empty except for, what is this one? The tin ore. Oh my gosh. This is only empty because I emptied it into our item system to make more storage upgrades because, oh my gosh, I had to. I'm wondering, are any of these full? No, they're not, but oh my gosh, I don't think I need to turn this back on, to be honest. So this is working through with the tin, and it's filling this up, and as quick as this can get, it's taking these, because these all have, well, not octatic, they all have at least double layer. I would like to upgrade them, but I might not need to. I don't know, guys. This might be all the materials we need for the rest of the game. Possibly. 17,000 gold. 75.5 thousand iron. These things that I didn't have enough of? Got plenty. Oh my gosh. Well, there's some things we're missing, right? Like quartz and things that we're not going to be able to get with this guy anyway. But this is beautiful. So we got a double crusher and a double crusher. These are from Actually Additions. We have 2 crushers from Extra Utilities. I know that I made speed upgrades and I can't figure out where I left them, and I didn't make more. That would really help out here. I could take this and that will fill up with another stack of 24 and put those in there. The thing is, actually, yes, yeah, we could do all sorts of things. The thing is, I don't want to reprogram these from the back, but I could manually fill these up from the front. These aren't typically going to be general purpose machines, however, because they're only going through to this. So let's take a little bit of a look back here. It's pretty crazy. I'm not going to try to explain everything that's going on. But in basic terms, let's give it a shot. So the miner pours items into this block. This is a drawer controller. It can see all these. So actually, if we kind of look at the inventory of this item, it sees all the boxes, right? You're probably familiar with that. This is set on channel green to take items out. and channel green to take items in. But every in has a filter. And so I looked at all the different items that I want to process, and I used JEI, just enough items, to see what are the different outputs. Is it worth having flint with it? Is it not worth having flint with it? Like one of these doesn't have flint because it's actually filtered to handle one of the things where flint doesn't actually matter. If it goes through here, here, or here, what gives me the drops I want? What gives me the best secondary chance of a secondary drop? So I went through and decided all that, set up a filter on each machine to make sure it only goes in that specific machine. And it actually works out, with the exception of this guy who has 2 different types of uranium ore, but they actually turn into the same output item. Every single one is only handling 1 item. So that's really cool that it worked out like that. Then sometimes the bonus output is stone. So we actually have this set up as a void upgrade. So stone will keep coming in here and it'll get rid of the rest. And then all the dusts will go in here, create kind of a buffer. If this fills up, then just these machines will eventually stop running, so no big deal there. And then these aren't set for anything specific. They're just going to take in and cook whatever they can. Not sure how efficient that is, but it seems to work out. And one final time for the whole loop. So green items go out, green items go in based on a filter. Product goes out on the blue channel. Blue channel goes into the diamond chest. Purple channel comes out, goes into the smelters. Yellow channel for product. And yellow channel goes into the drawer controller for this guy back behind here. And you don't need a filter because basically this can only take these items and they're all locked. Let's go ahead and turn this on and just go see what kind of power drain overall. It's going to start pulling stuff in. Those are going to start getting stuff. Those are going to come over here, start getting processed. All these machines will start running. Eventually all those will start running. And let's just see what the total power drain works out to be. Now this won't be a completely accurate reading because I don't think all the machines are running. But this is saying that the system is currently eating 2,400. But the input is keeping up with that. So for whatever reason, my fans are currently able to manage that. But I do know on occasion it eats up more power than it can produce. And the thing is, these are producing 77. What I just learned recently, and what I did not know, and what I told Dadcraft when he was online because I was so excited, and what he said, yeah, I already knew that. The higher up these things are, the more power they produce. So that is a great quest project thing for next episode. We're gonna get those things. I'm bouncing around so much back and forth. Sorry. We're gonna go to the end and we're gonna kill some Endermen, and we're not gonna kill them with this because it doesn't matter that I added beheading 10. This won't get Enderman heads. We need the Ender IO sword, which I believe I have a few, and I spoke with Dolan, and he helped me out with some knowledge so we can get it to how it needs to be. And then we can make ourselves some of those wireless blocks that transfer energy from way up there all the way down to our base. And maybe we'll really kit it out with a whole bunch more fans. I don't know. It's going to be way up there, so I haven't decided. Do I want to make it look nice, or do I just want to not worry about how it looks and just cram them in there one block apart and get as much energy producing, free, passive energy producing, and never worry about power again? I kind of like the sound of that. I sort of do. We could have one block on each floor. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I... Anyway, I'll think about it, and we'll talk about it next episode. So we're going to call it here. This has been bRanN. I'll see you next video. Have a great day.